Okay, so your Toro snowblower 724 OXE will not start. Um, if you live in Pennsylvania where it snows, every few years anymore, these things get all screwed up in the carburetor. Now, how you know? Here's mine. It has the plug, it has the choke, the primer bulb, and the ignition key. No throttle on mine, which I found a little disturbing. But anyway, so it won't start. You hit your primer bulb, you follow these directions, your ignition key's in, your choke's on, and it still won't start. So how you know it's your carburetor and not the machine, and even though you're hitting the starter, never ride on the starter for more than a few seconds, and it's just going to burn out your starter, and then you'll even be more pissed. So you have to take off the top first to get at your carburetor. Whoops, I have it backwards. So basically, that screw, that screw, that screw. You're going to need a 10 millimeter and an 8 millimeter wrench to do this project. So you can also, before you even start, there's a, wait a minute here. This one here is a bleeding screw to bleed off to just get rid of the fuel in your bowl. This one here is it will take the bowl off. I believe both are 10 millimeter. And so if you want to make sure you know it starts, you get some starting fluid. You turn your choke off, which will open up your bowl, and you spray, I don't know if you can see my finger, you spray starting fluid into your carburetor there. It should start right up with that. And if it does, and you do that and it runs, well, maybe you beat the system and you're good to go. But what I had to do is, mine did not, I had to take this bowl off here, pop the bowl. In there's a float. I pulled the float, and then I got a I got a bread tie. You take the tip off the bread tie. You then push it in the hole where the float, the pin was, the jet, to meter that, and then in the front of the carb there's going to be other holes. You push that in there, in and out of there, even though people say don't do that. This is a quick, easy cheat. Then you get your carburetor cleaner, you spray it everywhere, all the holes with the red tube attached, and generally that'll start. If that doesn't, then you have to just take all this off, take the carb off, and then do it more meticulously, and it will definitely start. Oh, and definitely make sure there is no old fuel in your fuel tank. It's just going to be all shitty fuel. You want the highest octane you can buy. You put it in there, and all fresh, and you're good to go. You're going to have to pinch off your fuel line here as you pull it off the carb if you're going to mess with taking the whole carb off, or just mess with taking the bowl off. You have to pinch off your fuel line with a pair of needle nose. A pair of vice grip needle nose. And that should start it up. It worked for me. Let me see if I'm lying here. Let's see how she goes. Whoops. Plugged in. I go half choke. Get a couple pumps. So yeah, that was it. It sat for 3 years, was our last storm here, and it's supposedly gonna drop a foot today, so we'll see. But I hope this was helpful to somebody. Take care. Bye.